Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Jarl the Appian Way here. I'm playing as a faction I probably play the least, which is Hector of Troy. Wanted to try out some new units here. I've been a 2v2. These are some of the same players that were featured in a previous video of mine recently on my channel. And with my Hector of Troy army, I did not bring Hector. I brought a Warlord Commander because both of our opponents brought Paris of Troy. And so I brought the Warlord Commander because, well, he has a neat little ability to buff his personal missile resistance. He's got a shout for more weapon damage and more melee attack, and a leader of men for more melee defense and more melee attack. And when you have more melee stats, you can pretty much be guaranteed to beat up just about any Paris player. I went with a line of, let's see, this is 3 Trojan Defenders and 2 Hector's Chosen. I brought 4 light skirmishers. One of them has an XP chevron. I also brought, and they're hiding out here in the trees or moving to be so, 3 Trojan warriors, and they're going to be led by a Minotaur. As well, all the way out here on our far left flank, I brought a heavy Trojan chariot. My ally is Lycia. Lycia brought a, let's see, this is an archer trickster hero. This has some interesting, like, AoE attacks with its bows. If you get good shots off, they can be very useful. The army is a mixed bag. We've got armored giant spearmen. We have heavy Anatolian skirmishers. We've got 4 units of renowned Khopesh fighters. We've got an eastern spearman here, an Anatolian youth. We have heavy axe warriors, and we have companions of Sarpedon. Here's another Anatolian youth, and of course a Lycian winged chariot. Our 2 Paris opponents, we have an archer skirmisher in a, I believe this is the heavier chariot because, yeah, he has 90 ammunition but only 180 range. He brought 6, I'm sorry, no, I take that back. He brought 5 heavy Trojan spearmen and 2 shielded spear warriors to escort 2 Trojan nobles and 2 Trojan princes. The other opponent went with, and I really do like this build, really straightforward and simple. He brought Paris on foot. He brought 5 exemplary Trojan slingers. 1, 2, 3 of them with 1 XP chevron. I think that might have been overkill. I think 5 exemplaries is 4,000 of your funds, and he made them even more expensive with the 2 XP, but those 2 XP chevrons are probably just what he had left over. He also brought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heavy Trojan spearmen, each one with 1 XP chevron. 11,250 hit point sponges in these guys. And I also believe that they have the spear bug. I believe. I'm not. Don't quote me on that though. We'll see if they have the stagger bug or not. So, yeah. This is the layout. We've got 2 rocky formations in this battlefield, as you can see here. We deployed, I wanted to put, I kind of assumed they were going to be deploying on the right, but considering that there were 3 avenues for which we could maneuver from for our starting deployment, we put the chariots on our left flank. Here, let me rotate. Yeah, our left flank. We put his army in the middle, and we put my army on the right. The intent being that they might try to get an engagement over here in this mud pit. So we wanted to set up a line here, and then I would do a flank around and attack like this, or attack an army directly. They instead went for this much more narrow passage over here with the trees on their left and the rock on the right, and then another army right here. And as you can see, this force is actually marching back. I can go ahead and put this back into normal speed. That'll help. And they're moving. He's moving his forces back over here. This gives me an opportunity to put my my Trojan warriors led by the Minotaur into the trees. And this force starts moving up. They're doing this clockwise motion, sorry, counterclockwise motion around this rock formation here. And this gives our chariots and the Sarpedon player, my ally, an opportunity to try and single this guy out, because this player is now moving completely away from the engagement and away from my forces. I am going to start moving up, and the idea here is that if we can engage this foe from his front and his flank, and we move my forces up, we can prevent him and his exemplary Trojan slingers from being able to support this unless they come all the way around the other side of the rock formation. So there's a lot going on tactically. The skirmishing battle begins. These Eastern Slingers are going to get beat up by the Trojan Princes and the Trojan Nobles. They try targeting the hero skirmisher. They get a little bit of damage done. These Lycian wing chariots are the target of the archer skirmisher. He's going to start shooting at them, and I think it's actually going to pop. Yep, right there, he popped one of the chariots. And so this is actually not too good of an engagement. If I can catch him, it'd be great with my heavy Trojan chariot. They're there to escort the Lycian winged chariots. And as you can see, he's also taken the opportunity to create this really, really neat box and give his princes and nobles as much opportunity to shoot and kill as possible. We're not in a position yet to attack with our chariots, so we're going to retreat to the tree line before we take too much damage from these elite archers. They're going to move forward. They're going to try and do what they can to us, but you know, some of their shots are getting wasted on Anatolian youths. He's going to move up his archer skirmisher, try and get an opportunity to attack us. But here we see the renowned Kopish fighters are now starting to get in position, and here comes the assault. The first of the melee engagements is made. See, I'm still moving my entire army up over here, as discussed, to try and prevent this player from getting involved in this engagement down here. Our chariots are taking their time, resting in the trees, and he's still pulling away from me, which means that my Sarpedon ally cannot get outflanked. The melee engagement is now fully at hand. The companions of Sarpedon showing up a little bit late, and this Shielded Spear Warrior taking a ton of morale damage from all of this, probably from the javelin throws, maybe the Archer Trickster getting a shot in this as well. And, okay, here comes one of those Archer Trickster shots. Here he goes. Yeah, it's like a multi-launch arrow. Lands a little favorably in these Trojan Nobles and spills over and gets some kills in these other units as well. Poor Lycian wing chariots tried supporting my chariot assault, and they get pushed back. I don't blame them for wanting to pull out of this. We get a breach over here against the Shielded Spear Warriors. I'm going to pull through this heavy Trojan Spear as best as I can. I already got one chariot into this, and look at the damage that the Trojan Princes and Trojan Nobles are taking. This one's actually broken now. My other chariot's around the corner, and this is just exactly what we want. Here comes another trick shot off of the Archer Trickster. I believe targeting this Trojan Noble. We'll see if it actually lands. Lycian chariots, they show up, but unfortunately they're so light that and so low on health that when they engage these Trojan Princes, the Trojan Princes with their 160 weapon damage said, yeah, we're not entertained, and beat off the Lycian winged chariot just through sheer volume of sword attacks and value. But the damage was done. The infantry carried that fight against the heavy Trojan spearmen, pushed through, and now the Trojan Princes and Nobles, which are already really hurt from our rear attack, have nothing really else left to do. The Archer Skirmisher is also now in trouble. Meanwhile, on this other side, I push up with my Trojan Warriors, and I pull back just the last second because I knew I was going to get my clubs for my Trojan Warriors stuck at the front of the spear line. My other infantry aren't in position yet, so we decide, yeah, we're just going to flank around. I'm going to pull around this, force him to move back, and this Paris player is doing what he can to protect his expensive skirmishers, and he's creating a J formation with his spearmen. I'm gonna just see this engagement. I'm gonna charge it with Hector's Chosen against this spearman here. I'm gonna put my other Hector's Chosen into the other corner. I'm gonna keep moving my Trojan Warriors around the flank with the Minotaur. I'm gonna charge right on into my Trojan Defenders, which do phenomenal damage with 167 weapon damage on the throw. He starts pulling his spearmen back as he realizes I'm flanking around, and look at all of these tasty, tasty, exemplary Trojan slingers here for the taking. And now my Minotaur has an opportunity to attack Paris. My javelins are now in position to support my Trojan defenders. I barely even have gotten my Warlord Commander involved. The other Trojan player, the other Paris player, is out of this fight. He's trying to get some work done with his princes and nobles. But with my Trojan warriors having caught the exemplary Trojan slingers, the exemplary Trojan slingers get to show off the fact that they don't take too many casualties against cheap infantry. These are still an exemplary unit with 125 sword weapon damage, but my Minotaur gets to have some fun with this. I'm just moving my Trojan warriors down the line as much as I can to pin them up against this wall and making them pointless in the rest of the engagement while my javelins do the work. Our opponents concede the battle, which I think that was a wise choice at that call, because there wasn't really that much left for them to do. Whew. That battle was a mouthful, and it happened very, very quickly. You could see that Bonanza Joe over here, who was the Paris of the two Paris of Troy players, very little damage done to his army, but after seeing how the engagement went against Lenain Desjardins, and look at the kills tell a very, very detailed story here, Prince is actually doing less damage than the nobles in this instance, which is very interesting. The skirmish are getting a solid 24 kills, some of them on chariots. So once this player was effectively removed from the game, Bonanza Joe went ahead and conceded the battle, ending that fight. And I think that was a wise call. As you can see, my javelins did very little. My army in general did very little. I got 27 kills with this heavy Trojan chariot, but really all credit goes to Total War Playboy. 74 kills with his Archer Trickster, 115, 120, 98, and 37 across his renowned Khopesh fighters. The Armored Giant Spearmen, I don't even think I saw them participate in the battle. 47 kills with the Companions of Sarpedon. That was a tactical maneuverability victory, and you're not going to see a ton of kills when your opponents do these kinds of box formations like that. And the trick to beating a box is knowing when to time your attack. You've got to complete your envelopment and then move in. And that's what I was doing with my army. I was making it possible for Total War Playboy to surround Lenain Desjardins and complete the attack. Even though, like, the Lycian Winged Chariots, they had very little impact this battle, you only lost 630 funds for that. Whereas Lenain Desjardins, once the spear line cracked, he was out 7,000 points of archers. Bonanza Joe, I love this pick. I would have gone with a different infantry unit than the Heavy Trojan Spearmen, but otherwise, this is a really, really solid build. I also would not have brought 5 exemplary Trojan Slingers. I think it's way too expensive. Anyway, that's it for this replay. I hope you all enjoyed. Ta-ta. Happy New Year. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video.